Right. Evening, y'all. How's it going? We're back 2 weeks later. Alec has, well, he's hot as hell. Back with another lockdown live chat. How's it going, Mr. Larson? Mr. Dracona Media. Welcome.
Yeah, no, it's all good, bro. I like your shirt. One of the best bands out there. So
yep, Tech Death Supreme Arch Fire representing for the Canadians and all. I don't even know if they care about us, but whatever.
Canadian Tech Death is basically Canada is to Tech Death what Sweden is to Melodeath.
Yeah, I totally agree. They like between them and like those other guys like Rings of Saturn and Necrophagist is like quality
Beneath the
music.
Massacre.
Yeah, man. It's actually there's so many. It's quite crazy. Every part of the world. But yeah, we're bringing it back down to South Africa. We're actually going all the way through to PE, Port Elizabeth, and we're joined with a familiar face to the Lockdown Live chats. We're here with Mr. Sean Mitchell, the man, the myth, the legend that is Dead Man Risen. Welcome back, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's like what, nearly a year ago that you guys started this.
Yeah,
and I was here and chatting to you guys. So yeah, it's great to be back and chat some more shit.
Yeah.
You know.
In the process, in pretty much a very hectic, intense, 2020 with lots of trials and tribulations, you were able to actually put together a whole new album, which just came out, which is the infamous Die With Me. So yeah, before we actually talk about that album, actually, we had a few requests the last time actually asking this question that we never looked at, which was, what was the name Dead Man Risen? Where did that come from? Where was the origin of the name Dead Man Risen?
Well, funny enough, and I think everyone will be quite surprised, when I started the project, I was actually very into the Christian faith and so on. And so Dead Man Risen is actually referred to Jesus, so he's a dead man that rose, kind of thing, if you can put it that way. And then obviously after things, after a couple of years or whatever, then I sort of parted ways with being a Christian and all that stuff. And but the name stuck, now it's more of a just compared to say like, zombie type of thing where, that's also a dead man that's risen. So that's why the first album, Vampire, was all about more horror elements and stuff like that, zombie apocalypse, obviously, Dracula, dragons, anything fantasy, horror type stuff. So yeah, it changed from one thing and then totally to the extreme. So yeah, that's where it comes from originally. I was quite heavy into my faith at that time, but obviously years went by. I started seeing things that I just didn't fit with me anymore. So but the name stuck. So it was still, I still thought it was a kick-ass name, and I was going to keep it. So yeah.
Sick. Yeah, I always assumed it was like to do with vampires, like you mentioned with your first album being called Vampire. So like, it completely makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I guess let's actually pull this back to the album, the new album, Die With Me. A year since your last release, but this album had a lot of traits of Vampire, a lot of industrial type riffs, and obviously production has notched up a whole nother level since even the previous album. But in terms of the inspiration for actually writing this album, what made you come up with the idea of Die With Me and the types of tracks that you ended up putting together for it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's from Senseless Hollow, because Senseless Hollow is the previous album. It's a much more doomy, melodic, but very more slower type of album. which I love. One of my favorite genres is death doom. I'll just go nuts for it. But then I just thought I got quite good feedback from that very first album, even though the quality was absolutely, in my opinion, terrible. There'll be a lot of people that say, no, it's fine. It's not that bad, but obviously, yeah. So I decided, I'm like, I think I want to try something a bit faster, a bit, and a bit more, try and go a little bit more heavier and faster. And so I thought about the Vampire album again, and then I was just like, well, let's try that again. Let's try adding those sort of heavy synths and stuff again, and see how it goes. And yeah, it actually worked out pretty well, and I'm quite happy with the outcome.
Sick. You have some really cool like song titles in this album, like Sadistic Anomaly and An Owl for an Eye and Battle for Eden. Maybe talk to me a little bit about your lyrical inspirations and like, are there any common themes going through this album?
Yeah, most of my things is to do with what I'm seeing currently in the world. So it's a lot of what people are doing to our earth, and how they're just messing it up and screwing it up and stuff. And then I like to take that and just compare it to something horrific, try and compare it to something else, like for an example, the one track Excision. I'm in the medical field as well, so I just compared the human species to like a tumor, like cancer and a parasitic entity that is just sucking the life out of our planet, and it's just messing up everything. I'm big on nature and wilderness and stuff like that, and so most of that is just coming pretty much out of hatred for humanity. Pretty much that's what it is. I'm a big follower of cattle decapitation. I think I just love what they stand for. I'll probably never be on that level, but I love their lyrics. It's just it's mind-blowing. So I kind of follow the same route and maybe compare those things to more horror related things, or something something sort of metaphorical that other people can sort of just compare it to, that they've seen, because most of the time people don't see these things that is happening around us. They're quite oblivious to it, and you're just pretty blind towards it. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what it's all about. Yeah.
Sick.
You
actually brought up something that actually pertains to something I wanted to ask you. You mentioned being in the medical field, and like obviously 2020 was a complete fucking shit show. And 2021 hasn't really started that much better. So I wanted to see how you're doing, because you're obviously being in like a testing facility or in like a lab, you're like frontline sort of vibe. So how are things going with you? Are you keeping safe? Like we hear horror stories of like the medical, like people not getting proper PPE and stuff like that. So
it has been a bit rough. Just the other day we hit quite hard because we actually lost one of our colleagues, and it had happened so damn quickly. I don't think any of us were prepared for that. Some of our staff members have contracted COVID, but then they came right, and pretty quickly. And then just this one was just so quick and gone, so that hit hard. But we've got so many safety protocols and everything that we follow, and so we do keep safe. And we know we wear our PPE. We're quite protected as much as we can be, so. But right now it's much better. Right now things are looking good. If people can just just chill, don't go too crazy with the booze now and lose your bloody senses, because that's usually what happens. The alcohol ban is lifted, people go absolutely bonkers, and social distancing and everything just goes out the window. So people must just start being more responsible and just start being more considerate of others, and everything will be fine. It's actually very easy not to get COVID, but it's also very easy to get it, if you know what I mean. You just got to be mindful. Just always be mindful. So yeah, no, but everything's going well, man. But for how long, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's a third wave coming, so we don't know.
Sure.
In terms of this vaccine that Pfizer is supposed to be supplying South Africa, like 20 million doses, how, obviously you being a frontline worker will obviously be the first in line to probably get the doses, probably in the next month or so, more than likely. Personal opinion on the vaccine? I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but are you concerned about any side effects moving forward, or is it just like, got to do it?
Yeah, of course I'm quite concerned because obviously we haven't really received much information, more information about, what's actually in it, how's it put together, stuff like that. So we also kind of kept in the dark. We are at least still given a choice if we want it or not. Now it's just, sitting there wondering, should I go for it or shouldn't I? But my personal opinion is I'll probably take a skip on the first round, and I'll probably, just, I don't know, wait for the zombie apocalypse, see what goes on. Umbrella Corps comes in and just like says, yeah, we've got you now, guys, So I've played too much Resident Evil, man. I know this shit now. So no, so I'm just waiting to see what happens first. And but I think it's okay. It's coming from a very trusted source, as previous vaccines have come from. So they are very trusted, and so I think everything should be fine. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait up a bit before I go for that. I've got too many more ideas and albums that I want to release first. So I'll just wait a bit.
Well, yeah, I guess that kind of brings me to the next kind of point, because even though the Die With Me, actually now thinking about you being in the medical practice and the whole COVID thing, that name seems really, really too, that's really too on the nose. So, yeah. With that being said, we were talking about the different genres that you kind of tether in our last chat. You mentioned to me behind the scenes that you actually are planning on doing another EP later in the year, probably around the time of Winterfest Online. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yeah. But you mentioned to me that this next EP is actually going to apply a little bit more of a doom effect.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess kind of with all that in mind, do you kind of, as an artist, so when it comes to conceptualizing a release, do you think of it from a listener point, or do you come across more as you like to try showcase as many of the genres that you can within your own music that you enjoy listening to? Or is it kind of the other way where it's like, okay, we're going to go with a style for the album and that's it?
It's mostly to do with what I've been, or what's influencing me, or what bands are influencing me at the time. I'll have sort of phases that I go through, whereas the one sort of couple of months I'll just be into tech death or something, and yeah, Archspire it's always just Archspire. I don't listen to any other tech death. And then currently it's back to the doom, death, doom, black metal type style. I'm a big Rotting Christ fan, and just been listening to them like crazy again, and I just love everything they do. So now I'm just back to that point where I was like, no, I'm going to go more melodic. I want to go more doomy. I want to go slow and heavy. And so I decide from the start, and I'll write a couple of riffs, and it'll be like, yeah, okay, there it started, and then we're just going to carry on from there. And so everything that I do is usually because I'm listening to some other band. So Die With Me was also listening to a lot of Static X again, and Rammstein, and yeah, and then obviously putting all the melodic, I'm also listening to a lot of melodic metal at the same time. So things like Wolfheart and Amon Amarth and those type of bands. So I'm definitely influenced by what I'm listening to at that time. And then, so that's why, I don't know if it's a good thing that every album, every release is going to be very different. The style is just going to be very different from the first. I don't know if it's a good thing, because maybe I'm just not mastering something. I should maybe be focused on one thing and master that instead of jumping around constantly. But yeah, people liked it, so I'm quite happy. So yeah, I just want to do something different again. You know, I'm always chopping and changing. Same with tunings. I'm always changing my tuning. So yeah.
I think it's good that you still focus on like the brand of Dead Man Risen. Like me, I'm like the polar opposite, where I like make 19 bands because I want to make a black metal band, I want to make a doom metal band, I want to make this kind of band. And I think your approach is one way of doing things, and it's good because you actually get to build like brand loyalty. So yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I think it's also that thing of like, I'm also still, and I'm what, fourth album in, and I'm still actually trying to find my sound. It's a funny thing to say, but it's like, maybe that's something that will never, you'll never come to that point. I think there's probably still top bands out there that are still trying to find their sound. And that's why we're always getting these maybe sometimes weird albums that they release, and we don't know why they did something like that, because they probably just want to constantly experiment until they are happy with what they're producing. And I think it's the same with me. I don't know if I'll ever be happy. So I'll just constantly be bringing something new to the table.
You did. I think. Oh, sorry, Alec. I was actually just going to say the one thing I've noticed with all of your releases is that whenever you focus on a specific type of genre, you adjust your production quite a bit around it. I mean, in terms of this next EP compared to, let's say, Die With Me, which again is a production level up from the previous albums, will this like follow a different route, or will you try to go a little bit more lo-fi on the production, or how's the end product shaping to sound?
Yeah, no, it's no, definitely with each release, I'm trying to push the production level even more. From every sort of release, I'm learning something new. Because then I get to listen to it all again, over again, and just listen to all the mistakes and everything that I don't like about that release. Because there's actually a lot about Die With Me I actually don't like, and so now with this EP I'm working on, I've already ironed out those wrinkles, and now I feel, and yeah, you will hear eventually that the production level is even better. Not that much, but it is there, and I think I'm just going to do that with every release. It's just constantly try and push my own level. I've always tried to compare myself to a lot of other bands or whatever. I kind of need to stop doing that. So, and just carry on pushing myself to the next level, and do it the Dead Man Risen way, I suppose. So yeah.
So you mentioned an obsession with changing guitar tunings and that kind of stuff. Now, maybe you can talk a little bit about like sort of the tunings and the guitars you used for Die With Me, but also if you're planning on like a death doom atmospheric black metal sort of amalgamation for your next EP, what sort of tunings are you looking at? Because you could either go super low or just stick in standard. That's kind of like the death doom approach. So what you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I'm becoming more of a fan of like, drop B, standard B. I feel it just sits just perfectly in the mix. It's not too low that you have to really, I don't know, struggle to get that sound right for low tunings, and it's not too high that you've also got to struggle to get those you know, those high frequencies out and tame those bitches quite a lot. So yeah, I keep on jumping around. I think first 2 albums was drop C, Sensel's Hollow was drop B, Die With Me is standard C, and now I'm going standard B. So they're kind of still around the same tuning if you think about it. It's just I'm just making it easier for myself or making it harder actually. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going drop A sometime, and then if I had the guitar to do so, maybe like drop G or something like that, you know. That would be quite fun to do. But yeah, go do me, but not that low, not as low as a lot of these modern bands are doing now. It's still mind-blowing how their production still sounds so good with such a damn low tuning. Just unbelievable.
Well, yeah. Listen, I was actually just thinking, because we had to give a shout out to the guys at Metal for Africa for their awesome Summerfest online stream. So shout out to Pat and the crew. It was awesome. As far as that whole presentation goes, they've been giving a lot of one-man band projects a chance. Do you think now with this whole, you know, obviously no bands really performing or any real performances at all, it kind of levels the playing field for guys like you to be able to showcase your music still in a capacity without having to perform live with other members? Now, like, what are your thoughts on the whole Summerfest and the Metal for Africa online events in general, Sean?
Yeah, well, you know, I thought I would be that type of project that would never be able to really showcase, you know, on sort of a live type of setting. And now there's actually an opportunity to really do something, you know, not necessarily have to be a live performance, but just a sort of a presentation, if you can call it that. And I'm actually quite excited that I might have the opportunity to do something now. And I've got ideas going like crazy. I've got it sort of planned out, but obviously that might change. And I want to do this thing, but at the same time, it's got to work out well. I'm not putting some lame shit out there for anyone to see. It's got to look good. If it's lame, I'll probably just keep it to myself and just, I don't know, show my grandkids one day. They're like, look how stupid your grandfather was, you know. But no, it is something I'm working towards. I've got things in motion already, and hopefully I can make it by that time. You know, by the time of, I think, Winterfest. So if I can get something together, get it all done, the production done well, everything, and send it off and see what happens from there. So, but it's something I am looking into now, and I'm working towards. So I hope it works out.
All of us too.
Speaking of
go right ahead. Go ahead.
Speaking of the Summerfest, this is actually a question for all of us to answer. But speaking of the Summerfest, starting with Sean, was there anything that really, any sort of act that really stuck out for you in the stream?
Gosh, now you're asking me and I didn't even watch it. So I totally missed it completely. What happened? Oh yeah, I ran out of flipping internet. That's what flipping happened. I really need to invest in like uncapped fiber or something, because seriously. But I think there was, I think Lyle, you can also remind me, there was a solo act that you told me about.
Yes. Yeah, fuck, I forgot the name. I don't want to butcher it. Starts with an S. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. So apparently I think that was pretty damn good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think your live, the types of playthroughs and stuff you've been doing could apply the same type of idea if you just add a bit of a story. But yeah, he was pretty good. He was pretty good.
And I've seen, I think the last fest, I don't know which one it was again, but there was also the guy from Pajama Planet, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was also pretty cool. So what I want to do is, I want to make it a theatrical type of performance. That hopefully, if people like watch it, they'll stick around and watch it. So they'll be like a whole extended music video type of thing. A music video that spans like 30 minutes or some shit. It spans a set that you would play at a gig.
Exactly.
That's the plan. I just hope it works out. Like I said, it's scary to think of it, but at the same time, it's like quite exciting. I want to go for this. So yeah.
Sick. Yeah, from my side, I'm going to have to give a shout out to the guy that produces basically all my music, and Alan with like Dark Side Production. It was In Misery, it was Mr. Morgue, it was Portraits of Flesh, and their new project, which is Horrid. And like just the production on that stuff, like going from almost like an EBM style industrial, like EBM, all the way through to like full on like brutal death style of Horrid. Yeah, that was quite cool. The sort of presentation between the music videos was a little bit lame, but the music videos themselves and the like actual music was killer.
Yeah.
I think we have room for one last question, so I'm going to hand that over to Lyle, and he can send something your way.
Yeah, well, I guess trying to tie this up like a sausage then, Sean. We asked you this the last time, but now a year later, with the vaccine on the horizon, with possible events turning up by maybe 2022, more than likely, what do you see the future for metal in SA now, bringing in this whole digital element also now?
I think it's open doors, man. Especially from my side, being just a solo project. Now I actually have the opportunity to do something that was actually never really thought of. I was watching a sort of a live performance of Rotting Christ the other day. Also doing like an online stream type of thing, and it was just mind blowing. It's like, the sound quality was great, the visuals were great, and it was just, I'll just keep on watching it over and over again. Look, there's a place for live shows, and it's great to go out and have a good time, and just go crazy and just forget the world, when you're there. So there's always a place for that, but now there's just that other thing that is a little bit extra, for those people who want to just sit at home. They don't really want to socialize or mingle with the crowd, but they're happy just to sit at home and maybe like watch a performance. I think what would be great is if once we go back to live performances, if we could maybe also stream them or film them somehow at the same time, so that everyone can and I think that will grow our scene even better. If everyone can see what's going on. Because I think a lot of people don't take that opportunity to actually go out and watch the bands and actually realize like, wow, this is actually the shit. This is actually so awesome. Because we've got a lot of South African bands that they are really good. It's unbelievable. And I think if we can show them on an online stage as well, I think it will open a lot of doors for all the bands, even the bands that play live as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I couldn't think of actually any better, more positive words looking forward. And now that you're literally surrounded by darkness, I now see that you're set for this Doom EP even more. So we're gonna leave
I didn't plan that. This wasn't planned. It just worked out pretty well.
Yeah. It has to come organically. It has to come organically. This is how it was meant. But yeah, I think that we're gonna try wrap that up for a week. Alec, how did we do?
Yeah, sick. I really thanks, Sean, for taking time out of your evening to chat shit with us. It's always a good time to talk to like-minded individuals love the SA metal scene. So keep on doing what
it's
you're doing.
It's always great to talk to you guys, really, and please keep doing what you're doing, even when lockdown is non-existent. I think you should carry on taking this platform further and just keep on with the interviews, because it's really great. I love it. I love watching you guys chat to the other bands, because I'm starting to learn more about those other bands, and it's really great. So
we all
thanks to you guys.
This is all a learning process where I'm meeting new artists literally every chat. So, and I mean, we're all connected through metal, which is it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're gonna call this another week. We will be back next week with another lockdown live chat, same time, same place on the interweb. We'll see you guys then.